Hello, this is Hellsenstrat. Welcome back to this Play by Email Vs Jochen Combat. I'm going to watch the combat replay for December 20th, 1941. And now this is a doozy. Jochen is not going to be happy. We got extremely lucky. So our subs have a field day this turn, and some of them, like 2 or 3 of the attacks were complete luck on our part. Our subs basically on the way to their patrol zones ran into random task forces in the middle of the ocean. So yeah, he's not gonna be happy. Funny part is we used enough of our torpedoes on a couple of these guys that we had to send them back to port before they can go to their actual ones. So our subs actually finally get something off Pearl Harbor. Our subs off Rangoon get action. So this more unloading of supply at Shortlands and Rabaul there. One of our DMSs actually takes a hit. This DMS W1 actually runs into a mine at Singapore and gets sink. See? So that's kind of bad. So we do lose that, but we do. I-158 finds the AP Australia Star here. Now this is going to be painful for him. That's a pretty big fucking we call it AP here, right? And she goes down. So we had bad weather again, so we did not get the night bombard Rangoon, which sucks because he has a lot of fighters there, but we'll have to do that. So RL-64 plays games with AMC Gale. So I-158 is now being attacked by the AMC Pansy. Does take a hit, but I don't think it's too much in the way of damage, hopefully. So unloading more at Rabaul, more at Shortlands, our landing force at Ley. Unloading at Sammy, or Sarmi. Sweeping more mines to Singapore. Alright, 173 was on the way to set up patrol between Pago Pago and the island south. Ends up running into this random tanker near Fuli. So we'll take that. It uses a good chunk of its torpedoes, but enough so that we're gonna actually leave it here. And then comes down here. I-168 finds the AP Matora south of Pearl Harbor. I-18 finds task force. These guys are on the way to New Zealand and run into a task force here. All right, bombardment at Manado. Fast forward, so we do a sweep. Still not protecting those guys. We'll bombard Clark. All right. I think these guys actually should bombard farther north, but I'm not sure which ones that was. We're just kind of slowing those guys down. Alright, so we actually have a very good strike here. 71 Betty, so that's a pretty good organized strike from Takao here. So they end up doing 397 casualties for only 1 plane damage. So this is 1 combat squad destroyed, 11 disabled, but 2 non-combat squads destroyed and 30 disabled. The more support squads we destroy, because he doesn't get a lot of them, will start affecting his combat a lot. So this is a pretty good strike. We'll take that. All right, bombing these guys to the north, slow these guys down. They're still in Wooded Rough, so I might actually change this and let him move out and put these guys on the group to the south here. Just because we want to let him get out of these hexes before we attack him, and we should move into that hex next turn. Alright, bombing Tamila. Alright, so Sally's starting to head in over here. So another 192 casualties from this Sally's. So 1 combat squad, 4 disabled, 1 non-combat, 16 disabled. More Sally's going in. Another 78, so another 4 combat squads disabled and 8 non-combat. And our whole goal here is to get as much disruption to these units before we attack, right? So, I mean, this is a hell of a strike here. Like 27 aircraft, 263. So 2 combat squads disabled, 22 disabled, 2 non-combat, 15 disabled, and an engineer squad disabled. So, yeah. Another 139, no combat, but 1 non-combat destroyed, 28 disabled. Bombing that little guy fleeing, it's not doing us any good. Sonia's bombing, just training basically. Let's kind of fast forward this a little bit, otherwise this video is going to be really, really long. Alright, so I-21 goes to finish off what I-18 started. So, and she goes down. Get a second bombardment at Minato here. I-18 decides to go in for a second AK here. Surprisingly, we had 2 duds, which is like a 10% rate, so we rolled pretty bad here, so we end up using a lot more torpedoes here than I would want to, because you kind of wanted these guys fresh off New Zealand, but we'll take ships sink down. So I-18 gets that guy, so those actually might return to truck to rearm, because sending them all the way down off New Zealand with half full of torpedoes is kind of pointless, because they'll get there, they waste a lot of fuel, and if we just send it back to truck and then send it back out, it might be worth it. We destroyed this Revolve dead base force here. Hello, so part of it already moved out, or he's flown a good chunk of it out already. So it had like 2 guns left, so it's not like it had anything there.
Today, our high command announced that the ever-victorious forces of the Japanese Empire have captured Rabaul.
Alright, basically we're just... this base force actually manages to hold out somehow and doesn't retreat, which is funny. So it takes a turn at a time. I mean, it's pretty much going to be wrecked, but it's just like, surprisingly, he's having supply issues. Interesting. Nice. Take short lens. Our deliberate attack Minato surprisingly still cannot break this garrison base first. He had built his fort up, so he did build his fort up, so... But we'll destroy that, and I'm taking a leader to him, so maybe I'll switch out leaders here. Capturing Hanover, captures Rimbuto, and there we go. Our airfield expands at Saigon to 6. Kind of let me have some area down there to resize units. Not resize, upgrade units. We need airfield 7. So, losses for this turn. Aircraft losses, we're going to go with 1 for 6. Mostly going to be in the bombers. We lose like 4 Sallys and a Kate. Or not a Kate, a Betty. Ship sunk this turn. We're going to claim those 2 AKs, the Australia Star, and that tanker, 18-point tanker, which is fucking great. Any tankers we can sink is good. Any APs we can sink is good. So that's about 54 points that our sub scored for us this turn. We did lose the DMS, so that kind of sucks. But Boise's still the biggest one we got. We're still claiming Dominion Monarch at 35 points. So, but we've managed to sink 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tankers so far. So all those are any more we get is the best we can get. So all in all, good turn. So we'll get this turnaround out and sent back out, and hopefully we'll have another turn in a couple of days, guys. I'll catch you all later.